Hey guys, welcome back to Benos Esther Malka's channel. Today's big question is, why no lesson plan? Two things. If this is a question that you had on your mind, like this video. And if you would like to submit the next question for next week, as you can see, you can't leave any comments here due to YouTube, but you can always reach out to me on Instagram and Pinterest, so check out those links below. Anyway, why no lesson plans? And the answer is real simple. No child is the same. Look around your classroom. If you're a mom, look around your own home. Can you honestly say that any two kids are alike? No, yes, kids have similarities. You may have two kids who are very good, let's say, at science. But you know what? Even the kids that are good at science, one is stronger in the math-based sciences, and the other might be stronger in the actual theories of science. So simply put, why no lesson plans is because it just doesn't make sense. Now, the next topic I want to hit upon is if I don't have a lesson plan, and this is really scary, how do you know what to teach? And I'll tell you, it's really simple. In the beginning of the year, generally as a teacher, you as a mom, as a para, whoever's watching this video, you know more or less the overall material that needs to be covered from the first day of school to the last day of school. So I myself go in with this mindset, okay, we need to cover nouns, we need to cover verbs, we need to cover prefixes, we need to cover suffixes, whatever it is that I need to cover, it's in my mind, and I say, you know what, let me meet the students on day one, and let's see what happens. Now let's take that one step further. I will also prepare my classroom with the materials I know need to be covered. For example, let's take reading, because that is one of my favorite topics. For a first grader, I'll have a review of phonics, because for me that's super important. I'll have handwriting materials. I will have basic prefixes and suffixes. I will have digraphs. And in the beginning of the year, I would have a little bit of kindergarten work and a little bit, let's say, first grade classroom. And then I'll have a little bit of second grade work. And I prepared all nice, a full year's worth of material, because we're game schoolers, so I'll have all the games laid out on the shelf. Now here's what's going to happen. You'll have that student come in already knowing how to read. And it's like, well, guess what? I didn't lesson plan. So they don't have to start first grade day one. They could jump right over to half a year grade one. Grade 1.5 is their starting point. And then they move on and complete part of grade 2. I didn't lesson plan. And let's look at that other first grader. And I've actually had this in a traditional classroom, and it made me sad, where this first grader came in, couldn't recognize any letters. And because the teacher lesson planned, well, guess what? We're reading today. Now, I looked at this student, and I thank goodness I was the assistant. I looked at this student and went over to the teacher. I said, listen, this child doesn't have any letter recognition. So I pulled the student aside. I worked with the student, and within a few weeks, the student was on par. But guess what? If you don't lesson plan, then you have the letter recognition materials prepared, and both students have what they need. That student who needs the review in the beginning has the materials they need. And the student who just knows everything, because I actually have this in my class, this one student, she could really be a linguist. Just anytime you introduce anything, whether it's vocabulary, letters, whatever it is, that's how you pronounce that word. That complex names. Some names, come on, names are not phonetically correct. And she just looks at a name, is like, oh yeah, here's the answer, here's how you read it. And I'm like, I had to reread that 3 times before I got something that sounded right. So are we going to take both students, have that lesson plan, and then say, well, guess what? You're both on the same page? And the answer is no. Instead, as a teacher, and especially if you guys do a lot of center work, if you guys are teachers that work, different boxes of center material, prepare the full year of centers up front. So I understand certain things like read alouds have to be done in groups, but the more flexibility you have, the better. Again, every single center, from the ending of the previous year to the midway of the following year and everything in between, have that prepared. Get to know your students, because some students might need that repeat to get them to where they need to be. Some students just are naturals. Our brains are different. We're wired differently. Let them start off where they need to start off and let them keep going. So in a way, did I lesson plan? Yes and no. Technically, I didn't sit down and make a lesson plan. But on the flip side, I had my whole year's worth of material. I had all the games I needed, and my students were good to go. So if you guys like this question, feel free to give it a thumbs up. Again, YouTube does not allow comments, so that's why I have Instagram and Pinterest. Check those out below. You could message me, and I want to answer all of your questions because we are totally here to learn together. Don't forget to give this video a like and reach out to us and let us know if you guys lesson plan or not. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. Have a wonderful day.